Get it for your dad
On a
if he doesn't like good
special
beer.
note, this is we're ready and we're Schooner and Hopp and we're here with well, I'll let you introduce this beer because you...
It is my favourite brewery.
Yep.
It is the Black Hops Sandwich Session Ale. Apparently, technically a blonde ale. I don't know, session. I've always
drinking
found
beer,
that.
Judge.
Yeah, session ale is just a very loose term for a beer that's easy to drink.
Yeah, pretty much. I think it's one of those invented categories.
So yeah, Black
Future,
Hops. They've done some pretty big things lately. Oh, very recently, actually. They expanded their brewing capacity, so they've now got a second brewery in Bigger Waters.
Slightly closer to us?
Slightly closer. I think it'd take about half an hour less to get to them early.
There you go.
Which for me is all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still haven't gone to check out the portion. Like, I own about this much of it. And I still haven't gone and seen it.
We'll go in there and claim like a chair leg for you.
I just want like a corner piece of the bar. It's like, see that like mine.
This belongs to Corey Crop. This is mine. Yeah.
But yeah, so with the expansions, also seen them in the last week expanding interstate. So they've done a big tour along the west coast, effectively.
Yep.
Just all capital cities: Adelaide, Melbourne, Sydney. And they've also did a tap takeover in Newcastle.
Yeah.
So they just expanded. They got the capacity to go out that far. So it's really cool. So I can
the support, that's for sure. They certainly have the most traction out of a lot of the breweries at the moment.
They seem to be doing a crazy amount of good stuff.
Yeah.
But I guess you make good beer, you have a good marketing strategy.
Yeah, they are really active on
that's it. I really like their kind of position on it, is that they're figuring it out themselves, and then they're telling people like you and I how to go do it. And
really,
it's like, all right.
Very helpful.
It's very inspirational.
It's
it makes me feel like we could probably have a brewery one day.
Yeah. I can see why it's a blonde ale. Look at that.
It's quite light.
Yeah. Whoa.
And it's quite bubbly.
I'm looking at the log head. How does this always happen? You get a ton and I get none.
Mate, I know how to pour a beer.
So do I. Just apparently only from draft. Can't do it out of cans.
Yeah.
Corey did research on the brewer and brewery itself. He already knew quite a bit anyway because it's Black Hops and he's their groupie. Mm-hmm. I did research on the ingredients. So the three main hops in this, actually the three only hops in this. Ruaka, which is a New Zealand one. It's apparently the ultimate hop for hoppy beers. It's an aroma one, great for IPAs and Pilsners. Then there's Calypso, which is good for bittering, high alpha acids in that one. Also an aroma hop. And then the third hop is another aroma hop. So I'm expecting a hell of a lot of smell off this, but I haven't actually tried that yet. Citra is the third one.
It smells amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so just
Wow.
clear.
Yeah, that's actually like a mouth-watering fruit smell coming off that. Yeah. It also uses American ale yeast, which is low for the fruitiness. It's a clean and crisp one, which is definitely coming through in that. Good for malt and hop dominant beers, which I feel this is.
I'm getting a lot of a malty flavour out of it.
Yeah.
It is.
Which I when you looked it up and said it was a blonde ale, I was expecting that because they're typically malt-driven beers. I do get there is a nice hop profile in there.
It's very light and fruity, and I'd heard that it is very carbonated.
Yeah.
It is very bubbly. You kind of feel it froth in your mouth, but I feel like it helps. I had it described to me in a negative way, but
So did I.
I don't know.
By the same person.
Yeah. And I don't know, it gives it like a texture.
Yeah.
So you're not just drinking this.
And maybe that's what they were going for.
Clean.
And actually that's probably something that when we had the Kolsch, that's something I felt was missing was a bit of
Texture.
Yeah, because it was
just clean.
it was just
liquid.
Yeah, clean,
Whereas-
crisp, sweet
It's
water.
actually not dissimilar from the Kolsch. It's
No,
very
well, I mean, I think a Kolsch is like a blonde, like a
Kind
golden
of,
ale.
a
Sorry,
golden ale.
it's
But yeah, the Kolsch has just been lagered, which
Yeah.
is it's an ale that's lagered. That's a whole other thing. We're not reviewing Kolsch right now. Anyway,
no, but there are similarities between these two beers like that.
I could imagine I would take this and give it to like my dad or something, someone that doesn't really drink a lot of
Not
crafts.
a crafty. Yeah.
That's probably the purpose of this because everything else that Black Ops does is very crafty, very
Yeah.
hop driven. Obviously, they've got all their limited releases, which are just purely for beer
Yeah.
enthusiasts.
Like their IPA, however many I's it is.
I just realized that rum one that they just released should be called an RPA.
Ah. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's 25 IBU, 4.2%.
Yeah.
It is honestly really good. It's clean, light and fruity. You get a malty flavor as well. It's just... I can see why they call it Ascendant because it is literally just being sent to my stomach very
definitely send
quickly.
it, yeah. I feel like I'd have a couple of these and be over it. And I think that's just me with the whole. I'm not that into blonde or golden ales.
White beer.
Yeah.
Light in taste
Light-
beer because it's
yeah.
not a light beer. It's not very bitter.
no.
It's a session ale. It's gone for the drinkability aspect of the session ale, not the low ABV aspect.
Maybe just it's funny because the first Black Ops beer we did was the Beetlejuice, and I was taken back by how bitter that was, and I'd like more bitterness in this one. If you could take out the bitter, take a little bit of the bitterness from the Beetlejuice and pop it in this, I think I'd enjoy it a lot more. It might also be because, like, the way I'm feeling about it, Black Ops, we've had a few of their beers, they're all pretty stellar, and they are all pretty well unapologetically the way they are. Like, they're just like, hey, yep, we're making this as bitter as we like it, we're making this as fruit forward as we like it. Whereas this one, because you were saying, it is approachable, I feel like it's a safe bet. And
it's as sessionable as they want it to be because obviously they cater to a broad audience. So there's going to be people coming to their brewery that don't necessarily like, say, an IPA, or even they don't dabble much in pale ales.
Oh yeah,
so
I know. I understand every brewery's got to cater for everyone that walks through your door.
That is
Yeah.
very close to being a beer that you may be able to get a lager drinker to try.
I'm still getting a very distinct. It's almost the aftertaste is very distinct. Black Ops. I don't know whether it's just it might just be a memory, but
hop
yeah,
taste that just like here you
profile
go.
at the end very much reminds me of them because just then as I breathed out and like tasted it again in a burp, funnily enough, I just immediately thought of the goat.
Oh really?
Yeah.
There's probably similar hops.
It took me back to the beer and cider festival that I went to with my brother, and I had the goat there again, and yeah, just breathing out again, getting that familiar profile. That's like when you smell something and you're immediately like, wow, that's a childhood memory.
Yeah,
that's what that is right there. That's
instead it's a beer drinker memory.
Wow,
that's a good memory to have.
It's nice, isn't it?
Drink one beer, remember one of the better beers.
Oh. Is that fun? I'm just gonna. Hang on, you pour out of this, and let's see how much head you get pouring out of my can. Yeah, so I didn't start doing that until I was right at the end.
Not as much as mine.
No. All right, well, now pour the second half of yours, all right, and we'll see. Because it could just be the fact that it's the end of the can, and it's kind of been sitting there for a little bit.
No, there's a distinct difference.
Apparently I shook this one.
Alrighty.
Yeah, alcoholic. Sessionability, I gave it a 4. That's my own. That's just my own comeuppance against it. Just be like, nah.
5 out of 5. I could sit and drink that most of the day.
Change much? From the last one? No.
Nah, still the same.
Yeah. Bitterness, I give it a 1. Because
Yeah, 1 as well. There is no bitterness to it.
It's not there. Yeah.
Purely a session beer.
The only bitterness
But like
you get,
a
I
good-
think, is like the bubbles.
Well, now that it's been open for a little bit,
Yeah.
the bubbles aren't there. But
That-
usually you don't have a beer sit that long.
No.
Open.
I mean, if you decant it, you generally will have a bigger glass than this. But these were free, so don't judge us.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should judge yourself for judging us. Aftertaste, I gave it a 2.
I just gave it a 3 because there's still that. It doesn't linger long, but it ends with that hoppy, fruity flavor. And it's just really nice because it's a light one. It doesn't end bitter.
No,
Light
definitely not.
fruitiness,
It's
and it just invites you to take another sip.
yeah. The ending is certainly about, hey, remember how good this beer was when you first sipped it? You should definitely sip it again.
Yep.
That's what it says to you.
And then finally, overall, just 3 out of 3.
3. It's not a groundbreaking beer. It's not a terrible beer.
It's got its place.
It's just good.
If you're after just a clean sessionable beer that's not a mid-strength, because I know you go for a
You
clean
can just
sessional beer in a mid-strength.
Sniff
So
all day.
Yeah.
This is the beer for you. If you're after a beer to smell rather than taste, this is
the beer for you.
Yeah.
And as far as ranking against everything else, it's just you can really see where our taste is in comparison to something this light. This sessionable.
We're both much more about full flavor, but varying full flavors.
Yeah.
Where
You
I'm like, give me a fruit bowl that when I'm smelling it, I'm already tasting it. Then when I'm tasting it, it's like I'm tasting 6 beers at once. Mm-hmm. And you're like, give me that hot bitterness, like I'm tasting
Give me the
6 beers
fruit
at
bowl,
once.
but also the fruit's gone a little bit bad.
I was gonna say you still want the big aroma on the front of it, but you just want like something else to.
I love that lingering aftertaste of just being unnecessarily bitter.
Yep. So we've been Schooner and Hopp. Cheers.
Okay, cheers.